global pandemic, the Navajo and Hopi families COVID-19 Relief Fund and over 1,300 Navajo and Hopi volunteers bravely stepped forward with selfless dedication to organize procurement, facilitate deliveries, sew tens of thousands of masks and medical gowns, and manage distribution logistics. Whereas over 800 Relief Fund distribution volunteers staffed over 30 volunteer distribution sites across both the Navajo and Hopi nations to provide elders, immunocompromised, and vulnerable families with COVID relief. Whereas the assistance of distribution volunteers and staff, up to 2,000 kinship care packages containing 2 weeks' worth of food, water, and personal protective equipment were distributed weekly between April 13th, 2020 and March 26, 2021, serving over 345,000 Navajo and Hopi tribal members to date. Whereas distribution teams distributed personal protective equipment kits containing 3-ply masks, gel hand sanitizer, and disinfected wipes to over 130,000 adults and children in the midst of the seemingly intractable winter wave of COVID on the two nations. Whereas over 400 volunteer seamstresses produced over 113,000 sewn personal protective equipment items for first responders, medical staff, and tribal members. Overall, the Relief Fund generated another 100,000 in-kind donations of PPE for tribal members and directly purchased 252,000 gloves for a Navajo medical facility. Whereas wood donated by Coconino National Forest and coal donated by Navajo Transitional Energy Company was distributed to over 3,000 elders in over 80 communities on the Navajo and Hopi nations. Many elders lack access to electrical and gas heating, and this made contact-free access to wood and coal for home heating purposes essential. Whereas the efforts of the Navajo and Hopi families COVID-19 Relief Fund were motivated by traditional teachings of self-reliance, kinship, matriarchy, and caring for others' values, their incredible volunteers and staff embody. Therefore, Representative Jasmine Blackwater-Nygren and Representative Myron Sosi do hereby recognize and the collective community power of the Navajo and Hopi families COVID-19 Relief Fund to mobilize and protect our most sacred and vulnerable community members. We greatly appreciate your help and thank you for everything you've done to keep our elders and those most vulnerable safe during this most trying of times. Dated this 10th day of June, Representative Jasmine Blackwater-Nygren and Representative Myron Sosi, both from Legislative District 7.
The chair recognizes Representative Blackwater-Nygren.
Mr. Speaker, Pro Temp, I wish to make a comment on the proclamation.
Yes, please.
I'd also like to take this time to recognize guests in the gallery. May you please stand?
Welcome.
First, I would like to recognize Teresa Hatathi, the Logistic Coordinator for the Navajo Hopi Families COVID Relief Fund. I'd also like to recognize Vanessa Tooley, the Board Treasurer and volunteer. I would also like to recognize Lucille Johnson, the Administrative Assistant and volunteer. Members, I can't explain the amount of kindness that this organization has shown to the Navajo and Hopi nations. The organization was founded by 7 Navajo women, matriarchs in their community and of their tribes. They are incredibly inspiring, and it humbles me to honor them here today. As you all know, the COVID-19 severely impacts the Navajo and Hopi nations, and it was these women, along with their founders, who stepped up to save our Navajo communities and our Hopi communities And I greatly appreciate you and all of your efforts as Navajo women, as matriarchs. Ahiha. I'd also like to recognize Senator Peshlakai.
Ahiha Shiyaja.
Yes, please proceed. Welcome.
Thank you. Ahiha Shanand, Speaker Pro Tem. Thank you very much. Ahiha. Ado yat shas twishazani shatelkan ahiha kwa. Anhata hos agi. Ado ada nek etche ahiha ahiha the deshnil. Ado di sani wal yahiki the yego ba ahiha nitsan ama sana anala dandaniki the yego kwa. Ahiha anhatat ado yego. Jonako nas na ne katole sa I forgot how to say it. Sa aho shamasana shakan liget sa ana geb hajonko. Yeah. Thank you, Speaker Pro Tem, for allowing me to speak. I just wanted to say, beyond the words of the proclamation, sir, that we are looking upon a new future for indigenous people here in the Americas, the United States, and Arizona. And it's because that we see, we recognize, and we now can begin to honor the compassionate, loving leadership of Indigenous women. And I thank you all for allowing us to read this proclamation. And it takes everybody to save everybody's life. It takes love and compassion. And I want to say thank you to our Indigenous mothers, our grandmothers, our great-grandmothers, because they are doing their sacred duty, and their courage is absolutely, there's no words for it. They came to our communities when nobody else knew what to do, and they saved countless lives. And we are here, and our children and our traditions will remain going on into the future because of their work and their efforts. Ekeha Shananta.
Representative Sosa.
Ekeha Shananta. Thank you, Speaker Pro Tem. Aro Hihat Shade, Senator Peshlakai, Aro my granddaughter, Jasmine Blackwater-Nygren. Aro Hihat Kwanahai So Kaigi. Thank you for being here. It means a lot to the three of us here to see family, to see our own here at the state capitol. And I want to thank you with my whole heart for what you guys have done to help two nations heal, comfort one another, to stand strong with our prayers, our sacred songs, and with guidance from many others. Thank you for all you have done. We didn't come to you to ask you to create this organization. You guys did it yourself. You stood up. You took that extra step to help our people. Thank you very much. And in our culture, Navajo, women are the real leaders. They're the ones who took the step above our own tribal government, our state government, and they were able to get this done. They were able to reach out to their contacts to pull in resources that we needed. So I want to say thank you very much. And also, in our culture, women take in everybody as their own children. And so they were able to do that to take care of their children, the Navajo people, the Hopi people, not only on the two nations, but in urban Arizona as well. Thank you very much. I don't know what else to say, but thank you. That's all I can say. Thank you very much for your hard work and your dedication. On behalf of the Navajo Nation and the Hopi Nations and the state of Arizona,
Thank you. I would say that this House thanks you and the entire state thanks you for your heroic work over the past year.